Hi, I'd just like to give you one tip for anxiety. I know many tips being a counselor, but I really want to give you this one, okay? And I want to tell you how I used it recently and how you can use it. So basically, your conscious mind can only think about one thing at a time. Now, your subconscious mind can think about many, okay? So it's like a powerhouse, and it is a million times faster than your conscious mind. But your conscious mind is really only able to think about one thing. So, if you are like I was the other day, I was a little bit churned up. I had a funeral, and the next morning I was feeling quite stressed and I was feeling a little bit sick in the stomach and I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And as soon as you focus on those feelings, sometimes it can feel like they become worse. So, what I did was I acknowledged that I've had a very stressful day beforehand and that this is just a little bit of leftover because my nervous system, because it was so intense and so hard. So I said to myself, I'm just going to focus entirely on that one thing, which is work. So I focused entirely on work, and do you know, within half an hour, probably was 10 minutes, I was great. So it's absolutely fantastic. I was so calm and connected and cool again. So I think whatever happens to us, I think first of all, it's just noticing that sick feeling, noticing that heaviness, thinking, why have I got it? Often you've got it because of a subconscious trigger. You've got it because you might be triggering into a different personality part, which is IFS, internal family systems. It might be that you're emotional over something. It might be that you're scared about the future. You might be worried or upset or distraught about something in the past. But just go back to that one thing at a time, because even when you're nervous, this one thing works. I did a lot of TV interviews for my first book, so Honeymooners Forever, 12-Step Marriage Survival Guide. And I did countless interviews on the radio in Australia and overseas. And what I found was the way that I would approach the media is I'd get on the TV show, including Sunrise with Koshi, and I would say to myself, if I focus on the nerves, focus on the sweaty hands and the heart beating, I'm missing out on the interview. You get like 5 minutes on TV, it's not long. So I made a decision to commit to one thing at a time. And the only thing I was allowed to think about on in any interview is exactly what I was talking about. So that stopped me from focusing on the body. I must admit, when I was on Kerry Ann, I could feel my heart going boom, boom, boom. But I went back to stop it. Don't think about the actual body and what's going on there. Think about what you're talking about. Don't think about who's down those camera lenses. Even if you're a student, don't think about what you're doing. Don't think about if you fail. Just think about that one thing. Do the best job you can do in that exam. Do the best job you can do in that moment. And so, one thing, every time I do an interview, I put the notes down, I get into it, I think about what I'm doing. Do not let me think about anything else. I have also done 500 gigs plus, probably 600 now, as a singer. So this has also helped me fine tune this. So just know that if you're focused on one thing with that conscious mind, it is going to really help your body calm down. Also, because if we get into the mechanics of this, when you're focused on one thing, you're resetting your autonomic nervous system quite often, because your nervous system's got two sides: parasympathetic, which is calm down, rest and digest, and sympathetic, which is fight and flight. So if you're focusing on the body, it's causing more stress, you're staying in fight and flight. But if you're focused with the conscious mind, the prefrontal cortex here, on what you're doing, you're calming down the limbic system, you're calming down the nervous system, the vagus nerve's getting calmed down. It is fantastic. One thing is going to fix your anxiety in that moment. It's not going to fix it forever, but it fixes it in that moment. It's amazing. It might even just reduce it if it doesn't fix it. You may need trauma release, EMDR, brain spotting, somatic experiencing, or